Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be continuing the build on the 4.5-inch gate that you see here in front of me. There are two previous videos leading us up to this point. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about this custom cope on an angle, because every single one of these horizontals, there's 5 horizontals total, and all but one of them, obviously that bottom one doesn't get coped like this, but the rest of them have to be coped to fit around this custom diagonal piece that we have in this gate. I'm super excited. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, make sure and subscribe and ding that bell to get notified when I post a new video every Friday at 5 o'clock Central Time. Also, if you're new, check out my website, arosswelding.com, to find tools that you may see me use in any of my videos, including this brass soapstone holder, very thin soapstone. You don't ever have to sharpen it. That's what I like about it, as well as a few other tools, welding shirts. You can also find the Pipe Fitter's Blue Book that I reference quite a bit whenever I am fitting custom pipe angles or just an average 90-degree saddle, etc. You might also find some gift ideas over there on the website. We now carry some what I call manly candles, very good smelling candles. I'm actually burning one right now, and it's actually motivating to me to have a scent that I enjoy smelling whenever I'm working. So if you're looking for gift ideas, a candle might be a good one. If you notice that anything is out of stock, you can always text the word shop to 405-643-7176. This way we can send you a text right whenever we get stuff back in stock. All right, now it's time to pour yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, and enjoy the video. So the first thing I did was I got a measurement from my drawing on the concrete to know how long to cut this top piece right here. And then I referenced the Pipe Fitter's Blue Book. There's Kev. Hadn't been anywhere in sight until we start filming. Karen used to be the nuisance, now it's Kev. Kevin is a farm cat that we have around here. He can be kind of a nuisance. He looks kind of bored. So when he's bored, he bothers me when I'm trying to film video, but looks like he's making his way out of here. Anyway, where was I? I referenced the Blue Book, then I started to lay out for a 45. Now this particular angle is not a 45, this is a 42, so I had to fudge the numbers a little bit. If you're not familiar at all with how to lay out a cope on a 45 or any certain angle, we will link at least one video in the description, a video that I go into detail about how to pull numbers from the Blue Book and how to lay out what I'm doing here with this receipt paper. But to save time in this video, I found the measurements for a 45 and then I fudged them and made this a 42-degree angle instead of a 45. Once I got everything laid out, I went ahead and made my cut. Okay, so this piece here is the most critical. I'm gonna get it fitting just as good as I can. I've already went back and forth a couple of times getting this to fit better right here. It's fitting pretty good, but it still needs to go in a little bit. But once I get it fitting perfect, once this is square and that's fitting perfect, I'm gonna make a template for this cope right here. That way I can do the rest of them with the template and not have to lay it out. That way it'll go a little bit faster. But I'm gonna take my time on this one and get it just as perfect as I can. All right, I've got that top piece fit up pretty good. I think I like it. To make sure that it's good and straight, I lay this piece of rec tubing right here. I measure from the bottom to the rec tubing on each side, just to make sure that rec tubing is perfectly parallel with the bottom horizontal. And then I get down here with my eyeball and I can see the pipe, and then I ease on over here real slow, and as long as that pipe disappears evenly, we know that it's good and square. Okay, now that we've got this one fitting just right, I love the way it fits. I mean, it fits real good all the way around. I'm actually super pleased with it. It seems like this 4-inch pipe coping on an angle is a little bit easier than the 2-inch pipe that I did in a previous video. If you haven't seen the previous 8-inch entryway project, we will post the playlist in the description box below so you can go check out those gate builds. I made those gates out of 2 7/8 and 2 3/8 pipe, and I just recall and they were a little bit longer, so the copes were longer and it was smaller pipe, so it just didn't feel as satisfying whenever it came to the way the copes fit. I don't know how to describe it. This bigger pipe and less of an angle, it just feels like it fits better. Maybe I'm getting a touch better at fitting also, I don't know. That's one of the things I love the most about doing this stuff, is as long as you're striving to get better and as long as you're looking for better, more efficient ways, every time you're doing a project, it gets better and it's just more satisfying and it builds confidence. So anyway, now that I've got it fitting good, I'm gonna go ahead and make a custom template for this cope. That way, whenever I go to cut these other ones, it'll just go much faster. Okay, I'm going to be using this, this was a 12-inch saddle template. I don't know what kind of material this is, but I've already used it to make another custom template. And so I'm gonna use it again. 10 years ago, I would not have wasted such a thing, because 10 years ago I was not confident on laying out a branch saddle. Because of my pipeline experience, a lot of pipeline jobs that I went on, we did not have to lay out our branch. So for those of you who may not know what I'm talking about whenever I say branch, a branch is slang term for this right here. In the pipeline world, a common pipeline test to get on a pipeline job is a 12-on-12 branch test. And a lot of jobs, they didn't require you to lay it out with measurements like I've shown in other videos from the Blue Book. So a lot of guys like myself at 19 years old chasing pipeline work, I just bought me a template. They make a template that you can buy that you can just wrap around your 12-inch pipe, mark it around with your soapstone, cut it, and then go from there. So back in the day, this, I forget how much a template like this would be, probably 50 bucks or something, maybe. I don't know, that's just a rough guess. So I would not have wasted this on something like this because I really relied on this. But now, from my years of experience, I know how to lay stuff out. And for one, I haven't pipelined in like 2 years, at least 2.5 years. So I don't need a template for pipeline. But also, if I ever do need to lay out a 12-inch piece of pipe on a test or something, I can literally lay it out. I do not need this template. So that's just kind of a fun fact about pipeline and using such material as some would see as waste to make this template. So what I'm going to do is use this original mark right here. Because I laid this out from my Blue Book, I know that this mark right here is directly center of this cope. So when making a template, I want to make sure and put the edge of my template on that mark. That way, every time I put this template on to cut the next copes, whenever I line this up with my mark, I know that it's center, and I can make sure everything's rolled right by doing that. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to make sure that I got this pushed out this way enough to cover my cope and come out a little bit further. Now I want to overlap it just a little, probably at least a quarter, just to make sure that it's square. More or less is the only reason I'm going to overlap it. Whenever I get done with this template, I'll actually be cutting it right here because I want it to, I'm essentially making this right here. I want it to meet up like so. And then I can do a couple of different things here. I've heard of guys taking a hammer and doing this number, but I'm actually going to go get a pencil and I'm going to reach inside here. I'm going to mark that with a pencil. Go ahead and mark this out. I'm also going to mark where they meet like so. Now, that's what you have. Technically, I should be able to continue this on down, like so. And then that should be our template. Should be able to take a pair of scissors, cut that out, and then use that to mark all my other copes. Reminds me of arts and crafts back in, well, I don't know, whatever grade, kindergarten. And it's funny what you learn over the years from doing a trade like welding. I'm literally using the same techniques that I've learned from welding to cut this template out. In other words, I'm staying just a touch outside the line. Boy, that candle smells good. It was literally like fall time this morning, or dang near winter. It was like 32 degrees this morning. It's not now. It feels great now, but so this candle is just really hitting the spot whenever it comes to feeling like fall. Anyway, I'm literally using the same technique that I do with the torch. I'm staying a little bit outside the line because you can always take more away, but you can't, well, technically you could add some, because I mean with welding you can add metal to it, but it's not the most efficient way. So anyway, there it is. Hootin' tootin', fart noogin'. That right there is super satisfying. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Chevy tuned up. All right, we are in business. This is the cope that we'll be using for every single one of these. Super satisfying, to say the least. Let's get to cutting. First, I'm actually going to go ahead and put a tack on this piece. That way, whenever I lay my rec tubing back up here to line it up, this piece will be where it needs to be, and I can just focus on moving that other piece. No ground, no problem. If I can find my grasshopper. Where's the grasshopper? Oh, there it is. Found it. Just use the old grasshopper. Yeah, buddy. This pipe has got like a coating on it, kind of like a clear coat or something. And besides that end right there that I just realized I could have put my ground. Could have put a ground right here, but anyway, I forgot that I had an open end there. And if I try to hook to my jack stand, it doesn't ground because that coating insulates it. So I use that grasshopper to help with that. Give her the old eyeball real quick. Better move that a little. Maybe not. I might ought to just weld it. I might ought to just full send.
Smells good. Ba-na-na-na. The way that it should. Ba-na-na-na-na. So good. So good. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, dokie, pokey. They look pretty good. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Just come out just a, just a skosh. I mean just a wee bit. Might have to get a mini wedge. That's how much of a wee bit. Just a holder there, steady. Yeah, steady. This ain't even a mini wedge. It's a daggum scraper tool. That's all I need though. Just a, just a skosh. I mean a skosh. Put the old eyeball on her. Yeah, buddy. That right there looks, daggum, real close, boys. Real stinking close. I think I love it. Howdy, doody. I better go ahead and clean my little old tip, boys. I don't care who you are. A clean tip makes all the difference in the world. Makes it more enjoyable. Cause yeah, I could have kept cutting with that one that wasn't that dirty and just kept grinding it, but having a clean tip just makes me feel like a professional. I'm not saying I am, I'm just saying it sure makes me feel like it. Cause you just know it's gonna fall off, you know it ain't gonna be wavy or anything. Just is the only way to go, in my opinion. That right there was key. I mean, absolutely key. We are on the home stretch now. We got one more piece to cut, tack it up, and then I've got one little circle to cut for the longest up right there to put a cap on, and I'll be ready to weld this thing out. Here we go. Last but not least. Ching. Like a glove. Like a glove. Give her the old eyeball. Okie dokie. And give her a tack. Come on now. You would plug up this last little piece, wouldn't you? You sorry sucker. Come on. Come on, hello. Oh, and of course you would unplug whenever I lift my hood up. That's about right. Comment below if you can relate. Hello. tell you what, reckon that'll work. Man, satisfying is an understatement. I mean, just tell me that's not satisfying.
My advice for this week is do what works best for you in your situation. That's going to go a long way in this life, in this world, is to do what works best for you. I'm not saying you can't mastermind and ask questions to your peers and whatnot to see how long it takes them to build a gate or how long it takes them to build fence or whatever. That's all right to do to get an idea, but at the end of the day, you have to do what works best for you in your situation. Something just as simple as what stance to take when making this weld right here. A way that I may stand to weld this might work good for me because of my build, but it may not work good for you. I think we always need to be striving to get better. I think it's good to surround yourself with like-minded people and ask questions. So I would say don't be afraid to try something, but if that doesn't work for you after you've given it a fair chance, try something else. Try something new, try something out of the ordinary. Just try anything, because whatever you find, whatever technique you find to do may work good for you and your systems and everything you have on your truck or everything you have in your shop. And it may work great for you, it may not work great for the next guy. So that's one of the great things I like about sharing what I do online is getting feedback. So like I said, I'm not opposed to trying new things or taking advice or asking questions to others that are in your same line of work. But at the end of the day, don't get discouraged whenever somebody else is doing real good or succeeding or whatever with the type of tools they have, with the environment that they're in, the shop they're in, what tools they carry on their truck, because that's their situation, that's what they have to work with, and that works for them. I encourage you to do the same. Take what you have and make it work. With that being said, I wouldn't ever encourage you to settle. Definitely have goals. You know, if you want to have a certain tool in your shop, or if you want to have a certain truck or a certain welding machine, I encourage you to go for that. But don't let limited amount of tools or no shop or a smaller shop stop you from starting. Be true to yourself. Do what works for you and your situation. Don't forget to check out my website, arosswelding.com/shop for tools, digital downloads, good smelling candles, etc. You can also text this number 405-643-7176 with keywords like shop, circle burner, pipe fence, trade school, any kind of keywords you can think of that you want to get notified about. Text that word to that number. This way we can send you a text whenever there's any kind of updates with those specific keywords. Thank you for watching and being here with me today. We'll see you next Friday, and remember, learn something every day.